This morning I decided that it's a good idea to go start another project, as you do. So I'm heading up to Morgan in South Australia, up the Riverland, where my uncle lives. We've got an old Falcon up there, a couple actually. I don't think they're going to start. They probably need a little bit too much right now, but yeah, maybe in the next week or two we'll head back up, try and get a bit more progress, and yeah, keep you all updated. About to come over Accommodation Hill, and it's always clear. It's still a bit chilly, but blue skies, the sun's out. It's going to be a wicked day for working on the car. Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
As though we are so far apart, you are always here in my eyes. When the sun exists today, your smile will always lead the way. Anywhere, when though we're always far apart, you're present here in my heart.
Alright, so here we are, Morgan, South Australia. Awesome part of the world. My uncle here has about 140 acres, about 2 kilometres of river frontage. We dragged these two cars out of 2 different paddocks. Obviously, a little bit worse for wear. XR is pretty good actually. It's a pretty solid car. The XY, a fair bit rougher, but for $300 I couldn't pass it up. Look, eventually repair some of the rust in it. I'm going to leave the body probably as is, tidy up the interior, and yeah, eventually V8 swaps. We've just been sort of having a bit of a gaze around. This XR is pretty bloody good. To have original wiring and clips still on an engine bay is almost unheard of. Under the bonnet isn't bad. It's probably the best part of the car. Well, to be honest with you, it's actually probably similar under the bonnet. There's next to no foreign wires and butchery under there. The problem with this thing is rust. It is bad. Probably one of the rustiest cars I've seen. Now, trying to get this thing started, and the first thing that's stopping me is that starter motor's missing. Fortunately, it's on the floor of the car. The fact that it's in 2 pieces doesn't make me overly optimistic. Alright, I'm over at the XR. I now want to find out if this thing's going to run. Obviously, first step is to see if we've got some spark. What I've got here, I've got one of the leads off. I've got a screwdriver, which, because I'm working on my own, I've taped up to the radiator hose, and I've used an old broken bit of glass there just to keep a slight gap between the screwdriver and the rocker cover, as you can see there. Now, you might have spotted a small spark there. The fuel pump's even working on this thing. I haven't got it connected up to the carby because it's probably shit fuel, but it is squirting everywhere until I disconnected it. Next step is to possibly look at putting a better battery in it because it's a bit low in the way of voltage, and connect the spark plug lead back up and throw some fuel down the guts and see if we can get a fire. So I think maybe at some stage someone has removed and replaced this distributor, and they've done the old-fashioned trick of getting the rotor button 180 degrees in the wrong direction. I've got to pop that out, lift the distributor up, turn the rotor button around so it's facing the correct way, put it back down, and then hopefully we might get a fire in the right time.
First you have to know, not fear. Know that someday you're gonna die.
You don't know how this feels.
It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything.
Is anybody surprised by this? Alright, battery's flat. Of course. At the moment, we're really flogging a dead horse until we have a battery that will turn the thing over long enough for it to get this going. So we're gonna go have some lunch. The battery's hopefully gonna charge enough to get us, over the line here. I'm gonna come back, try and actually fill the bowl up, try a bit of aero start again, see if we can finally get it to run. In the top of the carby here, there's usually a breather that sticks out depending on what carby it is. This one has one, so I'm just pour straight into the breather, which runs straight down into the bowl. Fire it up. I'm making a fucking mess here, but fingers crossed. It idled. Holy shit. That fucking idled. Holy shit. This thing just fired and idled, and there wasn't even any lifter noise, so it must have oil pressure. I have no idea when the last time it ran, but what I do know is the last time it was actually registered for the road was 1984, 1 year before I was even born. There's no way the thing would have fired up with the distributor in backwards. Maybe that's why someone gave up on it however many years ago. I don't know why. This thing firing up has just made my day. Anyone that has done this knows what it feels like, and anyone who hasn't needs to give it a go. Breathing new life in an old car fucking rules. I've got some fresh fuel here, and I've got the inlet for the fuel pump connected to an old piece of gas line. I'm going to drop that into the fresh fuel, and then I'm going to connect up the fuel line back up to the carby bowl. So when we actually turn it over, it's going to run long enough for me to hopefully just pop it in gear, see if the wheels move, so then I know when I come back in a week or two that when this thing goes in the ground, there's a fair chance I'm going to be driving it. This is a hydraulic clutch system, so I can't just pop it in gear and away I go. The thing's bone dry. It probably has been for many years. So what I'm gonna have to do at a minimum is get a master cylinder, probably a slave cylinder too, re-bleed it, and then we're gonna be in action. But for now, I'm gonna put it in gear, fire it up, and see if we get some life down back. This thing runs sick. Alright, that's it for this video. I think it was a pretty successful day to get this thing fired up with a pretty much unknown vehicle to have running and get some movement down back as well is a huge success. If I can get that sort of result out of the XY, I'll be wrapped. I appreciate you guys coming to watch. I hope that maybe next time I'm going to have a little bit more content. This is all still very new to me, so it's only a short video. The learning curve of working on the car and also recording is, it does slow you down quite a lot. So I appreciate your patience, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys next time.